Okay, we're going to roll right along here today. We just got done with part one. Part two, let's file this down and see what it's like. Let's take our time filing it. We're not going to take it to a grinder. We're going to try to file it first before we take it to a belt sander. So let's kind of pretend, we don't have no power tools, but we do have files and the basic tools they would have had back then. Of course, grinding the edge of bevel, it'll be done. I can file all day on that. We don't know how hard this is. We let this cool down room temperature. We didn't put in a bucket of ashes or nothing. We did spray back in here with some water because it was getting hotter and hotter. And we wanted to hold it in our hand and look at it. So we sprayed this down with water, took it off the vice grips. So, there you go. We're going to do some filing. We'll see what it looks like. Okay, we proved we can file it. So, and it's not real easy, but I've already wore down the cheap one. They don't grab that good once they get old. I'm going to try cleaning it. I don't know if you ever done that with a piece of copper pipe or a piece of brass. I'll show that. And you make a little tool to clean your teeth out. Anyway, stay on topic. We're going to go over to the little belt sander and try to make this kind of squared on top. We're going to try to get a little shape, and then we're going to try to, we don't want to make it too thin. This thing is under 1/8 of an inch. It's like 3/32. So, we don't want to make it too much thinner on the top. We just want to try to get it straight, so we got a reference point. That's the top. See how that drops down? So it's going to go down to a belly, then come back up. And I said, what? I cut this at 5, probably 5 1/4. Left me some extra. Always leave a little extra for your design or whatever. Okay, back to the next step. Okay, we did use the belt sander to smooth the sides, but we have done a lot of filing. And we used our, okay, we're back. And we used our 36 grit sanding disc in our 4.5 inch grinder. It's not a flapper disc, to do some of this and to shape this. Okay, but then we did some filing. We want a flat grind. We've never done it before. The flat grind was going to go from here, this thickness, down to 0, actually almost, in your mind. That's the kind of knife we want. We do not want a bevel part. We want it to just, it's going to be hard. And it has to be done with a file. If you look, you can see where I'm starting to take a little off. See that? And a little more on that side. Because it was fatter down here. So we're going to keep thinning it. We do have a nice shape back here. This is straight. You want to call that the spine. As straight as I can get it. I mean, till you get up. Here, let me get this on here. Yeah, as straight as I can get it till you get up onto here. But I like the shape I've got. And I'm kind of using this center of the round rod to keep myself when I'm filing. You know, when you have it in a vise like this, kind of eyeballing it. And I kind of look down the blade. And I've done the same here. You can see where the file went. Okay, we'll take a break and then we'll be back after we've done some more filing to it. We don't dare grind this. My belt sander is not it's just a small belt sander, and it's not going to do this accurate enough. And I am not a professional knife maker. This is a mystery still. We have no idea what it is. It is still hard to file, and it does throw a lot of sparks when I grind. So it may not even hold the edge when I'm done. So this is just a experiment, see if I can make a knife with minimal tools. You don't have to have a grinder. This could have been done by hand. It might have took me a week. That would have took a while. It kind of looks like an old butter table knife kind of long, doesn't it? It's kind of what I want. I want kind of a belly to it. And that's what I kind of came up with by the time I got done trying to get down to the good metal, the way it was wavy and hammered and like a letter opener. But if I can get that sharp where I want it, that's going to be a wicked thin little knife to have. So, break time. Okay, we have a big decision to make here. This is happens wide this knife at the furthest point. I thought I could get it out to about 1 inch. But it was just so hard to handle. This is only like 3/32. It's not quite an eighth of an inch wide. And I measured it metric and forgot it. But, okay, these two lines are 1/8 of an inch and 1/4 inch. Okay, this is 3/16. Get the right way. We're thinking about filing it like that. I believe I can't do a flat grind on a knife like this. If it was a big chef's knife and I had a belt sander with a jig, but I know I could freehand this with a file pretty good. And you can't see it, but I did have Sharpie on here and tried to center that, make a center mark. But I can eyeball that by looking like this as I'm filing. It's just like sharpening a knife. Never come down and make your bevel all on one side then flip it over. It's not going to work that way. Your knife's going to end up being too narrow. You have to sneak up on both sides. We got plenty to put in our vise. Look at the end of this. You'll see the picture of my work table. I moved the little bench grinder over and I have my little vise. That's all I'm using to hold it. I got this with my little vise there. So, we're out to do some filing. Then we'll come back and show you what we think. That's all we can do. Because as thick as this is, 1/8 of an inch, you're not going to have much of an angle. If you only went 1/8 of an inch, you're not going to have much of it. It's going to be too blunt. If you went 1/4 of an inch, that'd really be nice, but that's a lot more work. That suits me better. I like to look at that. So imagine this, all the bevel, that's the edge. Clear out to here. I say we'll go with that. And I use these with a Sharpie, and I set them and then mark it. I go from this side, not here of course. I follow the curve. I got several different Sharpies there. That's when I was forging. I wanted to mark with a wax pen. Works better on sitted old metal. Okay, let's get to work. This is going to be a while. Okay, I don't know how good this is going to show up. There are many ways to file. I draw a file and I'll go through. Draw a file is just like you're almost shaving wood, where you just pull the file like this. I mean, and you can sharpen this way. You can come in and sharpen this way. We're about halfway to the middle. I don't know if that'll show up. Do not be afraid, even with those knife sharpeners, to spend more time on the tip. The tip is always going to end up being wider. Okay? If you don't take care of it. Now back here, see where I marked it? I'm probably going to stop making edge right there. See how that really flares out? We're going to stop about there. So we're going to mark both sides and keep track of that. If you look at like a table knife and some knives, you will see it like that. There's really no edge till it comes out, then it goes into it. We still have our mark, if you can see it. We could put a Sharpie on there, going to go ahead and do it again, because remember, we have not taken nothing off here. Do not take nothing off this. Same as when you're making an edge of an axe. Do not sharpen this. You are just coming down to this edge. Believe me, I've watched a couple of guys that are really good at axes, and that's helped me shape knife blades. Do not touch this to shape. You're not sharpening that yet. You're just getting close to it. There you go. I wish I could show you me doing it, but it's just so hard to do. Okay, we're going back to work. We have a break first. Okay. Times I work without gloves. Your hands get filthy. See that burr forming on there? You see that? Don't want to get that under your fingernail. We're going to do a little work so this is shaped a little better. See how that came out that way where I hammered it? Does this remind me of a feather or something? It's all freehanded. I never did draw a picture. I just started going for it. I like this. Like I said, this ain't the type of knife I could put a flat grind, but that's a long ways there. That's like almost 5/16. By the time I got done, I need a tape measure or a ruler. Here, let me find a ruler. Okay, that's 3/16. It just looked that big. I spent a lot of time on this tip up here, and I had to set under and file that on there, then go back and match it Just like when I sharpen my knives with my knife sharpening machine, you get out and the tip gets all weird. This may just get filed with my diamond sharpener and just used for whatever. I don't think it's a knife that's going to hold an edge very long. We will use our torch to heat treat this. We'll heat it up as hot as we can get it. We're going to concentrate on the edge, not here, the spine. We're going to concentrate here with our heat, and then we'll quench it. Let's hope it doesn't bend. Then we have a toaster oven. We're going to throw it in for whatever. We'll look it up. Was it like 450 degrees for an hour or something? We have a toaster oven. We're going to throw it in after we're done, heating and quenching it. Because, like I said, this is just off the grass bag on a mower. But it was so hard to cut and grind. And it just throws all kinds of sparks with sanding disc that maybe it's just a hard, brittle stuff and it's not a quality steel. But it's practice. I'd rather practice on this than something expensive. So I suppose a person could buy some drill rod and hammer it out like this, 1/2 inch wide, 5/16 going to a 1/2 inch, and make something like this. You can look on Amazon, Scandinavian knives, Mora knives. You can buy just the knife with the tang and put your own handle. They look something like this. They'll come out, they got the long belly, then they got the point. I don't want that clip point look like a pocket knife. See, I don't want, well, that ain't a good example. You know what I mean. I want it to stay straight all the way out here. Okay, let's pause here, and when we come back is when we'll have, let's just call this good part 2. Part 3 will be making the handle and finishing the knife. How's that sound? I'm not going to show everything. I might show some clips of me heating it up with a torch in the next one. So, thanks for watching this part. We don't want these parts to be too long.